Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for, I almost said the wrong show, Serial Experiments Lain, episode 12. This is the, uh, wow, I forgot the word for, like, the episode before the finale. But anyway, two episodes left, counting this one. So, yeah, we have Lain is software, so I talked a lot in the description, or discussion of last episode about what that could mean and the several different possibilities that could be there. We had a very confusing episode, like a jumble of memories and events that have happened throughout the show. While I think like the reason we were seeing that was because Lain was uploading like the Navi into her brain, which is some crazy stuff. I don't know what she's gained by doing that, other than just like a ton of knowledge and information, and now she's talking about like fixing some of the problems, which one of the problems I thought was already fixed, so I was a little confused by that one. The whole rumors about the teacher and Arisu. Um, but yeah, they use the words like or I think they might have used the word omnipresent in here, and I talked a lot about that in the discussion of last episode as well, about being omnipresent in the Wired and what that could mean for like how the story has unfolded so far. And I came up with like a pretty wild theory that I don't know if it's like true or not, but I rolled with it, and I'm not thinking it's not my main theory, but I definitely threw it out there. So make sure you guys check out my discussions because that's where I talk about a lot of these things. But anyways, let's start episode 12 right now, shall we, guys? We're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Oh boy. Time for the opening. I'm very distracted tonight. I apologize if you notice. I just found myself like, I guess I'm like, maybe not maybe not like distracted. That might not be the right word. I think I'm like more like impatient, I guess. Where I'm like, the opening was going on and I know there's like nothing new and I've seen it a bunch of times, so sitting here like, what can I do? I'm sitting here like trying to find something to fidget with, or and I was like, nope, I'm recording. Pay attention. I don't even have like ADD or anything, so I usually like restless leg. Like I'm sitting here shaking my leg, I'm spinning my stylus. Just I like being able to like move my hands and stuff. That's why like whenever I watch shows on my own, I'm always playing some kind of game. Like usually a game that doesn't take much like brain power that I can just kind of like chill and play, and I'll watch a show. I rarely will just sit there and watch a show on my own and like only pay attention to the show kind of thing. Back to the street. I wish the show was that simple. No, I like the complexity of this show. So many possibilities, so many theories. Who is she talking to? It seemed like someone replied, right? And I didn't get a chance. I was too busy talking. I didn't hear the voice. Crap. She said, like, I didn't realize the world would be so simple. I told you it would be. As if she was talking to someone else, right? Hmm. Oh, so creepy. It's like she heard you. Did Lain send a message? Oh, you should just rewrite bad memories. But then how do you learn from mistakes and grow as a person? Did she send that message, like, without even pulling out her phone? Is that how connected to the wired she is now? Inside, yeah. That's a lot of her inside other people's memories, being known by people. Talking to Lain? This poor girl. Crazy visual. Lain, 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 Lain. What does it all mean? Oh shit. Hmm. Shit. Psychedelic man. What? Hmm. Interesting. They mentioned Protocol 7, right? We heard protocols be talked about before. Did I write it down? Don't think I did. Damn. I couldn't remember which protocol number they talked about in that episode. Shoot. Carl. Hmm. Interesting. Carl knows his shit. You meeting someone? Look at that smug face. They're just trying to get rid of him. Well, damn. Hmm. Yeah, so it seems like there's a faction that's trying to stop it, and then there's a faction that's trying to make it happen. Or was the oh shit? What is happening? Take the things off its head. Shit. Is it Lane's doing? Jeez. No, Carl, are you next? Well, he did say you're gonna have to get to where there's no satellites or power lines. It's funny because it almost feels like Arisu is now what Lain was at the start of the show, almost a little bit, right? Like seeing all this like crazy stuff that she doesn't really understand and like investigating it kind of thing. What is it? Just a mess? I mean, we saw like the dirty dishes and everything last episode. She still takes her shoes off, even with all the mess. I wouldn't trust that it's like safe to walk around barefoot in like such a filthy place. Like step on a Lego or something. Oh. Oh god, it's sister. I still don't get what happened to her. She, like, saw some crazy shit and went insane. Hmm. Uh-oh. No, you're breaking my stuff. Oh my god. She's in a bed of cables. We had her talk like that before. Everything. Yeah. I just had a thought. Maybe not. Maybe my thought doesn't work. Sorry. My brain is moving. Hmm. Interesting. Now I wonder how figuratively or literally that is. Lain being a program. I think if it's figurative for all the like everyone else being a program, right? Arisu is the true hero of the story. Doki doki. Oh shit. She can't hear him, can she? Yeah. A bug in a program. Oh shit, could she see the hand? That'd be so creepy. what a thing to witness for Arisu. Hmm. Questioning God. Ooh. Hmm. oh, what? Is he giving himself a body? Oh my god. Ugh. Hmm. Ugh. Oh, what is happening? This is some Resident Evil shit. Oh my god. It's like a freaking singularity. Oh. Oh, it almost looked a little normal. Hmm. What is happening? It's like a cocoon. Oh shit, no! That was a fascinating one. Goddamn. So yeah, so we had Protocol 7, which when they were talking about Protocol 7, they started saying like love Lain, love Lain, love Lain. I wonder like I don't know. Like was that a part cuz it seems like Protocol 7 was something that came out like a bit ago, right? When Masami did what he did and killed himself, right? And that was some time ago. Did like he retroactively go back and change the events of that past to have that Love Lane message after he became omnipotent? That's like what I started thinking about during the episode when you saw me be like, "Oh, I have a thought," you know. My thought was like, you know how I was confused by the fact that Lane went and talked to Arisu when everyone thought that Arisu like liked the teacher and stuff, and Arisu thought that Lain was the one that spread that rumor, and she went there and said like I wasn't the one that did it, but I can fix it. Was that Lain, like, you know how we saw that scene where Lain was like, oh, or they said, like, Lain was figuring out that she can wipe the memories and she did it, right? Maybe it was, like, in between that time frame of, like, when Lain figured out she could wipe the memories, like, this was, like, several episodes ago, right? And then last episode, we actually saw Lain go there and do it, but that was something that happened in the past. But the problem is, actually, that is it, guys, for episode 12. The problem I have is, though, in when we saw that, didn't Arisu forget too? In that moment, I think it was. Did I mark down just to make this easier to explain? It was when I mentioned memories, right? I have a note about memories somewhere here, right? I feel like I do. I should have. It wasn't episode 3. Shouldn't have been 4. Shouldn't have been 5. Interesting. Peeping Tom, 8. It must have been 8, right? Arisu and Teacher and Peeping Tom is what I have written down. Um, so episode 8 is uh, where Lain wiped the memories of everyone, right? Apparently I didn't. I thought I wrote something down about memories. Oh, I did. Episode 9, I have manipulate memories, right? So either episode 8 or episode 9 is where Lain manipulated the memories, or someone manipulated the memories for Lain, regardless. And everyone forgot, right? Like, that was the moment when everyone was staring at her, at Lain, because everyone just thought that she was the one that spread those rumors. It was very creepy and everything. And then those memories were wiped and everyone went back to normal. And I thought even Arisu went back to normal in that scene. So, like, my thought was maybe what we saw last episode in episode 11 of Lain, like, approaching Arisu and being like, I can fix it, was Lain going back, like, being omnipresent in the Wired means being at all points at all time, right? So Lain could have went back to manipulate the memories and talk to Arisu about it and stuff, kind of, time shenanigans going on. I don't know. Maybe not. It almost makes me want to rewatch episode 8 or 9 and see if when they're in the classroom and everyone forgot, if Arisu is sitting there with like that staring at Lain like suspiciously, right? And I just missed it because that could be that explanation is that what we saw in episode 11 was what Lain did in episode 9, right? And we're just seeing it jumbled a bit. It could be interesting. And that would explain my issue with like why did that happen when we've already seen it happen? Like why did it seem like the memory wipe had to happen like twice, right? I don't know. But yeah, that was like just my theory that came into my head during that episode. But yeah, this one was crazy. Like I said, we had the whole Protocol 7 thing where you had like the AI talking or the dude talking about Protocol 7 and then all of a sudden like glitched out saying Love Lain, which kind of almost feels like the same sort of thing where the Lain program went back and like changed it to Love Lain like retroactively kind of thing, which is just crazy to think about. But we spent a lot of time with Arisu this episode being like suspicious and curious and scared of Lain going to her house and approaching her, and they had a very coherent, for the most part, conversation where Lain talked about like not needing a body because we're all just a program, right? And Lain said she's a program designed just to break the barrier between the wired and the real world. Now I wonder how much of that is true. Like, Masumi is claiming that he gave Lain her body so that way she could be this program, right? Is that true? Now that we saw him kind of manifest flesh, right? Is it true that he actually manifested Lain? But if it is true that he manifested Lain, why couldn't he manifest his own body back, right? Like why was it such a creepy hulking monster? If he was able to make Lain look like a person, why couldn't he make himself a body that looked like a person? right? I don't know. It's definitely like things that are in my mind that are like, what's going on here. But yeah, is Lain really a program? Now, I definitely think that freaking the stink bug on my wall over there. Um, I just saw like a big brown spot like moving up my wall. I saw it flying around a little bit too. It might have gone past the camera. I'm not sure. But anyway, sorry. Like, shoot, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure like when Lain said that everyone's a program and you don't need a body, she's mainly just talking about the mind could be like a program kind of thing. I get like what she means by that. I think that's more metaphorical. But I wonder if she like literally is. Like, was she actually created or was she birthed like a normal human? Like, was it something where Masumi physically created her, or did like he just manipulate Lane's memories to get her to do these different things, right? And if it was just a manipulation of Lane who already existed, why Lane? Like, did Lane have something that other people didn't to start with? Like, why did he target Lane to begin with? You know, all questions that either we already have the answer to, and I just haven't analyzed the scenes, and I need to rewatch more, or we don't have the answers and may never get them. But we still have one more episode to go before we go into that deep dive of stuff. But but I like how Arisu kind of came in here and showed like we have a body. Look, my heart's beating. Like we have like a physical connection because Lain hasn't really had like a. I mean, she kissed that one kid, but other than that, I don't know that we've really seen her like physically touch anyone before, right? So it's almost like she and her family was all like faked. So it's like she might not even had like a good grasp on like what it meant to be human because she spent so much time in the Navi with digital people and stuff like that. So Arisu coming in here and being like, "Look, I'm a person. I have a body. My heart beats faster when I'm scared. This is what living is." And Lain is just like pretty much like sold into it pretty quickly. And then when Masumi came and tried to be like, no, there's no need for a body, Lane's just like, that was one question I asked was like they talked about like the knights existing since like the old Templars, but that would have been like before the Wired existed. And, obviously Masumi calling himself a god, like, yeah, you may be like similar powers of a god now, but like kind of like what Lain said, what about before the Wired existed, You're just filling in for that role of god that man had already created previously. You weren't always the god. And also the fact that calling himself omnipotent means everywhere at all times, but he's not capable of being before the Wired and all this technology, right? And I think that's part of what Lain was getting at is like, sure, maybe he can be like omnipresent in the sense of like since the Wired's inception, maybe he can travel through time kind of thing and manipulate different events through the timeline since the Wired's creation. But before the Wired's creation, he has no bearing. He can't touch that, right? Um, and I think like the concept of that just made him like go enraged here. But now it seems like all the technology like encased him in. Now, was that was that Lain trying to fend him off by like using her powers to launch all that technology at him? And like encased him to try to like contain him? Or was that him like with whatever like freak out he was doing, sucking in all the technology, it didn't have anything to do with Lain, and he's about to like hatch out of this cocoon. And I wonder what he's gonna look like when he comes out. Is he gonna be monstrous or will he succeed in like remaking his body? It did look crazy monstrous, and then we started seeing sort of normal-ish arms. So I do wonder if he is like forming himself again. We did have Carl and the other guy talking about how like he doesn't have a body. It does like he's dead, but he's not dead, right? Like maybe that was foreshadowing him getting a body here. But it's also funny that the guy that killed himself because he only needed to be in the Wired is now being manipulated to create his body again. If only he just didn't kill himself in the first place, right? So definitely maybe some kind of metaphors in that regard too. But crazy stuff. I'm really excited for the last one. I want to talk about a lot more about like a lot of these different aspects that I mentioned here after the next episode. to see like if we get any more answers or any more context clues. I'm sure we're not going to get like full on like this is what everything means, you know. It's going to be left open to interpretation, but I want to see that last episode so I can have all the information, right, and then interpret. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more from me. You can see 2 episodes ahead, which there's only 1 left, which means that you can see the next show, which is being voted for right now. I didn't mention the poll because by the time this episode comes out to you guys on YouTube, the poll will have ended because I do 2 episodes ahead of time on my Patreon, right? And then I try to be 1 or 2 episodes ahead of that on my just not released anywhere. In case I get sick or something, I can keep releasing videos and I don't have to be like, sorry guys, I was sick, or I have to play catch up later, you know? So I always try to stay 1 or 2 ahead of my early access, which means that in order to get the poll done, I need the poll to be done so that way I can stay ahead. So yeah, it's just kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. You can also, I guess you could check out the poll on the Patreon if you want to see what won. I don't know yet because it's not over in the time that I'm recording, but by the time you guys are seeing this video, you should see what has won the poll on there, so you can find the link there in the description for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.